Guys, welcome back to another interview that I've got with another client of mine who's done coaching with me. Now, unlike with the other client that I've got on my YouTube channel who did just the taster session, and then we've had like a little bit of coaching afterwards. My latest client, who I'm really fortunate that I'm going to be talking to over like the next sort of 30-40 minutes, is someone who came forward with quite a unique story and background. And he did my 7-day anxiety desensitization coaching. So I'm going to keep him completely anonymous during this. So you're only going to just hear his voice. But what I will at least show on screen whilst I'm talking is just a couple of the approaches that he did. Again, he's going to be completely anonymous in this, and the girls as well, because when I'm working with clients and I'm maybe taking photos, or if I'm doing a filming and feedback thing with them, I am filming in a way that's actually very different to what I would do with someone who is actually producing content for YouTube. So like with the dating coaches. So there will be a lot of anonymity in the photos. I'm not going to show any videos or anything, but just in the photos, just to give a couple of examples of the kind of women that he spoke to. So I'm kind of joined by my client, and like I say, you're only going to hear his voice. So welcome, client. Thank you very much for offering to do an interview, and I suppose a testimony as well about the 7-day coaching that you did. And I think really to get started, I'd love it if you could just share a bit of your background. You know, what was your situation before coming forward to work with me? And I guess as well, how did you discover me as well?
Hi Dan, I'm happy to be here. So my background is I come from southern part of India, and I've moved to UK in the year 2022.
Right.
Uh, I had this failed marriage with me, so that has affected me a lot. So I
Mm,
got married when I was 26, and that marriage ended in less than 2 weeks.
mm,
There were a bunch of things going on with a girl that I, just couldn't handle, and it just ended so quickly. And it also affected my mental health because it was so unexpected. Soon after my divorce, I came to UK on a job,
mm,
and I was kind of left here alone with no social group, with no friends and family. So I kind of spent my uh, last 3 years just staying at home, not socializing, not going outside, not even traveling to other places. It was just me inside my flat.
mm,
And I developed this anxiety, fear of social interactions. But when I hit 30, I realized that I need to change this entire structure that I have built in the last 3 years. Before my marriage, I was somewhat extrovert. I had a very good uh, group of friends. I had a good social circle back in India,
mm,
but that was lost after I came to UK.
mm,
Soon after I turned 30, I realized that I just want to change this, uh, this fact that I have this anxiety and fear with social interactions. Uh, I did not know about cold approach, and I started browsing on the YouTube. I came across many dating coaches, and in my search of finding the best coach, I ended up uh, finding your channel. And we had a consultation call, and I felt really good after speaking to you. And that's how, I boarded on this 7-day course that you offered me.
Mm. See, I mean, definitely, there's a few things there. I think it was good that you recognized very quickly that the marriage or the relationship that you were in, um, it just wasn't right, and and it's good that you exited it so quickly. And I think we kind of spoke about that anyway at some point over the week together. And really good that you recognized that you weren't happy with how things are or were for you now, and that you did want to take action about it as well. And it wasn't easy during the lockdowns for anyone. And I think when we had that first phone call together, I really sort of empathized with your situation because everyone was in that same boat. Like everyone's confidence had a reset from being in isolation, from not being allowed to go out during the lockdowns. And I could only imagine like how much more difficult it was, especially if you've just come out of a marriage and you've moved country. Now you're in an area that you don't have the same social circle as you did back in India, and now you really are at the kind of that sort of like step one again with your social life. So I really admired then that you did reach out and and even just as like the initial phone call, um, but I was like fair play to you for like recognizing that you're not happy with things needed to change. And of course I was over the moon that you were like no, Daniel, you're the one who can help me over everyone else. So of course I was really pleased with that. But like ultimately I felt that I would be able to sort of help you at least with getting your foot through the door and actually taking those first steps into cold approaching and just socializing and then speaking to people. And then after that, we obviously you booked to do your visit to London. You sorted out your well, I suppose you sorted out a hostel, which I think we kind of said in a way that was probably a better thing for you because it actually encouraged you to socialize with people, right?
Yes, my main intention was to spend with other young folks,
Mm,
which I had missed since last 3 to 4 years.
yeah.
I ended up having a really good time at the hostel.
Which was great because you went out at least a couple of nights, and then you're messaging me saying like, Daniel, this is happening, what should I do? Or oh, there's a girl talking to me, what should I do? And stuff. And I was like, go talk to her, get off the phone and things, which was really great. And then I know I'm kind of like jumping the gun here because there were certain things that happened at the hostel later on in the week as you did sort of find that you were getting more confident through the cold approaching and then socializing with people at the hostel. And then you were going out on, was it Friday? It was Friday and Saturday night, right? It wasn't any other night. It was just Friday and Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went 2 days, 2 nights, Friday
Mm.
and Saturday. Yes.
Yeah. So, it was great that at least the momentum that you got over the week really did set you up for later on in the week. So which we'll speak to, we'll have a quick chat about anyway. But so so this was a couple of months ago that you put me in. And then believe it or not, it's now been about 3 weeks since we've done the coaching, which is crazy how quickly like time just sort of disappears. But the first part of the coaching that we did was the filming and feedback. Now, for anyone else watching this, the filming and feedback is essentially day number one, I go out with the camera and I kind of film you doing approaching for about 4 hours. And then the next day we kind of sit in a coffee shop and we go over those videos, and then you can see how you look when you're approaching. You get this sort of like out of body experience or different perspective on how you interact with people, and it sort of sets the precedence for how the rest of the week can go because it like totally identifies everything that needs to be kind of worked on. So let me ask you then, how what was the experience like for you with doing the filming and feedback? Because it was obviously your first time being filmed or having a camera on you. So yeah, I'm so curious, like what was going through your mind, and how did you find it as we were doing it?
I was not conscious about, a camera is looking at me, but I was more conscious about myself
Mm,
because I hadn't had interactions with, with girls, since last few years, and I felt like uh, a rabbit thrown in the jungle.
hmm
The initial 10 to 15 interactions were like I did so terribly, like horribly wrong, uh, because I got to know the interactions. I got to see them the next day,
mm.
or my body language, my voice, my hands, my hand movement, and all that. I was kind of, ashamed, embarrassed about myself. Oh my God, this is what I'm doing. Oh, but on that day, on that particular first day, I ended up with a phone number of an beautiful Irish girl.
That is correct. Yes, you did.
So after getting the phone number, I got this self confidence. Okay, I felt like I can do this. I can speak to people. I
Mhm.
can approach girls. And also the on the second day when we sat in the coffee shop and went through the all my approaches. I think I did 19 approaches on day one.
Mm.
I got to see what mistakes I was doing and what should I correct for the following from day 3 to day 7.
Mm.
You explained a lot about my body language and how I approach women, and also I had a few rejections out of 19 which I took them very personally.
Which
uh,
everyone does when you get started with this. I mean, everyone kind of like feels that because you haven't yet reached that level of desensitization, so you do think it's more of a personal attack. So yeah, everyone's in that same boat with it. But no, I definitely agree. Everyone has that.
yeah, and also initial around 5 to 6 approaches were just very simple approaches like asking a direction
Hmm.
to a girl, but even that felt so hectic for me. But by the seventh or eighth approach, I told you that I want to move to the next level, and you encouraged me to do that.
Yeah.
And since then, since after that, I just did approaches where I complimented the girl, having conversations with them. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
really fun day one and day two. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you shared that because if there's one thing that we saw over the video footage is that there was a growth, there was development taking place over that roughly 20 approaches that you did, and it was at the end of the day that you got that phone number, or at the end of the session that you got that phone number. And I even specifically remember you saying after you got it about one of the limiting beliefs that you had of you saying like, oh, as an Indian guy, it's impossible to, it's not possible to get like a British white girl's number and stuff. And then you got it, and then you were like, Daniel, this belief is now gone. I don't hold on to this anymore. I've got it. And you were laughing about it as well. And so for me it was just amazing to see how, even though you had this sort of lack of experience for so many years of socializing, how at least with just a little bit of a nudge and just taking those incremental steps, because again, I got you to start off with just really asking people for directions. And then you got to a point that you were just bored and you were like, Daniel, I think I'm ready now for that next step. And you did it, and it just happened naturally. And that's something, even just pointing it out to other guys as well. This is something that will naturally happen with everyone. That sometimes you have to be aware of, like, if you can't yet give a compliment, then just take a step down and do something even simpler. And then as soon as you're comfortable with that, then be okay to go to that next level. You know, everyone's different. Everyone can go at different speeds or go straight to the most extreme. But sometimes it's okay to be like, you know what, I just want to get started. And, you know, you went out, you just gave people compliments, you asked for directions. Even with the directions, I think I was telling you, you know, where we were, and we're going to be walking towards Covent Garden. So maybe ask people where Covent Garden station is, and you did it. And people were really open to helping you out as well, which was great. And even with the rejections, you handled them still very graciously. And you know, you see that in just your videos afterwards. But what was good though is when we did watch that footage, because I said to you anyway that I look at three areas. I look at body language, linguistics, and, you know, your conversation skills or structure of content. And we were able to recognize quickly a pattern that was happening in pretty much like every one of your approaches. So, do you want to maybe like list just like one or two of the things that kept sort of cropping up that we were like, okay, when it comes now to like Wednesday and for the rest of the week, these are going to be some of the things that we're going to focus on. So, do you want to maybe like share one or two of the things that we did work on over the week?
Yes. So I think I can mention two of them. One was I am kind of a serious person. I don't have the smile on my face,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and also the energy in my voice. It was always low. Maybe the girl couldn't hear me.
Mm,
I couldn't stop her because my volume is so low that
mm.
basically she doesn't hear me at all. So you focused on these two areas a lot, and right now I see the difference after correcting them, because I'm able to approach girls now in Scotland,
Yeah,
and
great.
I am getting numbers. So yeah, those were the two main feedback that you gave me.
Yeah, which again was great. I mean, in fact, those were the things that I was sort of thinking off my head to list. That, yeah, one of the we spotted that you weren't really smiling enough. You did have a very serious look on your face when you were approaching the girls, which maybe might have like intimidated them at first. And yeah, and also the volume. Now, what guys aren't going to really be able to tell, because of, you know, my client sitting in front of a microphone on his end, but he speaks very, very quietly, or he did speak very quietly in person. He was almost like a whisper, is probably safe to say. So there was a lot of like just sort of saying like, okay, let's bump the volume up. Let's just sort of speak a bit louder, speak with conviction. And I think you'd said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you'd actually said like that you sort of felt like you didn't want people overhearing what you were saying. You kind of felt worried that maybe like people would sort of like judge and stuff. But at least as the week went on, you sort of found your voice and you got more comfortable with speaking to people. And even then, you were you had, I think, another limiting belief, or you were saying something to me about how you felt that you just couldn't have a conversation with people. And later in the week, we kind of proved that wrong, where you actually were then having really good conversations with people. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you want
we
to
went
share
to
about it.
yeah. I shared this to you where I was finding it difficult to have conversations with these girls. I think
Mm,
this was after the day 3
yeah,
or day 4. I approached these beautiful women from Saudi Arabia, women from South America, women from Europe, but I wasn't really having conversations with them. And I told you that, look, Dan, I feel I cannot have conversations with girls. I can approach them now, but I cannot take the conversations further. So the next day, you took me to Borough Market, and we spent around 60 minutes there, going up to different stalls and chatting up with the
Yeah.
owners of the stall.
All the staff working at all the stalls and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, you encouraged me to ask questions there and have uh, you know conversations about the products they're selling, and things of that nature. And soon after that session in the Borough Market, we went to the, I think, South Bank, near to the St. Paul's Cathedral.
Hmm.
And I did my first approach there. I approached a Mexican girl, and I had like almost 4 to 5 minutes of conversation. I was asking her questions, she was asking me questions, and then I ended up getting her number. Although she had an objection that she's kind of seeing someone, but then I challenged that,
Hmm.
and I told her, okay, let's exchange numbers. What if it doesn't go,
Mm.
uh, yeah. So I got her number. I conversed with that girl, and then my confidence was again, again back.
And that's something that, people kind of like don't really think about that. I mean, when you're going out, it's a bit of a roller coaster each day, which definitely I want to ask you a question or two about as well. But what would you say were some of the best stories or experiences that you had over the week? So whether it be on like the filming and feedback, or the actual sort of 5 days that we did of going out and doing the cold approaching, what would you say were some of your favorite or best interactions?
I would definitely say the entire day one. Of course, all the days were extraordinary, nice, but the day one especially was so hard hitting to me. I could see all my flaws and mistakes that I was doing. And then the day two feedback, that was really an eye opener for me.
Mm.
And then there came conversations with girls. Of course, the borough market session was really helpful. And after that, I was able to have conversations with girls. Not only with girls, but with people at my hostel as well. After the session at Borough Market, I became so extroverted. I went to clubs with my hostel friends, and
Yeah.
they started asking me, "Have you been, partying or clubbing since last few years?" Or like, I told them this is my first time, and they were not able to, believe me. They thought I am partying since 10 years, 15 years, and I was sober all the time. I don't drink alcohol.
Mm.
I was just drinking water, just drinking Coke, and I was, more active than the people who had alcohol. And I made so many friends at the hostel. They kind of liked me after that because of my outgoing nature,
Yeah.
because of my extroverted behavior with them. I was so open, friendly with all of them. It was kind of a new dimension for me after
Mm.
so many years.
Mm.
uh, there was a really good experience that I will remember forever. And also there was there was one moment where we both saw a girl. She was very tall, beautiful eyes. I think I approached her near the embankment station.
I was going to say, is this the one on Villiers Street that you were
Yeah,
speaking about? And yes, I remember this one now. Yeah,
the
but
girl
I'll let you share the story.
the girl was so intimidating. Even after partying with the with friends at the hostel, the next day I saw this girl. I was so intimidated by her beauty, and I shared with you that, I want to approach her, but I don't want to as well.
Mm.
Because she looks so beautiful, she wouldn't care about my approach. then you pushed me to go and approach, and I think we ran about 200 to 300 meters after seeing
It
her.
was so for guys watching it, it would have been nearly the entire stretch of Villiers Street
Yes.
that we nearly walked down because it's on a hill up from where like the station entrance is. So it was kind of on a hill. We literally almost ran all the way down, and then my client did the
Yeah.
last little stretch just near Embankment Station to actually stop her.
And as I was catching up with her, I could see other guys who were looking at her, and I felt disappointment in their face because they are not able, they are able to see this beautiful woman,
Mm.
but they are unable to approach her. They are unable to talk with her. And the moment I saw those faces, I kind of, you know, fuck, this is a mistake I'm doing. I don't want to approach her. But then somewhere, I had a flip in that mindset, and bam, I approached her, from the front,
Yeah.
and she was so happy that I came and talked to her. She was she was elated, and she told me she appreciated my approach. But she had a boyfriend. Okay, I wasn't surprised by that, but yeah. That was really a nice experience. And soon after that approach, I told you, hey Dan, I think the girls who look intimidating are not really intimidating at all,
Mm.
because not many guys approach such beautiful girls. So when we do that, when a particular person does that, they become so happy. They respond to you very positively. That was one of the best moments. And soon after this, I think this was near to the end of day 5. At the early day 6, the early session, I think we went near Trafalgar Square, and we saw a girl in a yellow top, and she was equally beautiful with the girl I spoke on day 5. And I just approached this girl, this new lady on day 6, without hesitating, without even having a second thought about anything. And she was also happy, equally happy, and she took my compliment really well. And that then my this intimidating girls are not so intimidating at all. So
Mm.
that was a concrete proof there.
Yeah, and I love sort of every moment, sort of watching them play out, especially when I mean, I was really proud of you, the fact that you found that courage to go and talk to some of these girls, because I know then you had the right, fuck it, I'm going to just do it kind of moment, and then there was other times where I was saying, look, like you're only in London for a week, enjoy it, embrace it as much as you can, and be absorbed in the experience, and you did exactly that. And for you to definitely let go of any sort of like regret. I mean, it's safe to say with some of the girls that you picked on your own, or ones that I suggested for you to do, and then you were hesitant, and then I got you to go and do it anyway. I think it's probably safe to say that at least you didn't regret not approaching them. Like, there's no what ifs. It's like, no, you know what? I'm really proud that I did that, and especially on like the girl in the red top on Villiers Street, because I do remember you saying when you came back that she's probably one of the most beautiful women that you've ever spoken to, and you were surprised at how friendly she was when you stopped her. So I thought that was just absolutely like amazing that you did that. Now, something else as well, which, as much as even with everything we've said so far, it kind of sounds like, everything was just getting progressively well, like every single day. It really was a roller coaster, wasn't it? There were days where you felt really happy and confident. And then there were moments as well where you sort of felt a bit deflated. You needed a breather. You needed to just kind of like talk with me about certain things, and then it was like, okay, right, I've got that motivation again to go out and do it. So I guess you want to just sort of like explain to guys, um, I suppose, like, if you recommend this sort of thing to them, but ultimately, what kind of expectations would you advise to guys if they were to do something like the 7 day coaching?
Uh, you become more socially outward rather than inward.
Mm,
Uh, and also, you know, you don't stress on specific tricks to approaching people or even talking with them. You encourage to go with the flow. You don't have specific gimmicks when having a conversation, unlike other pickup artists have. So that was really uh, a good lesson for me. I think what I have become is I have become more open towards life, towards other people, towards new experiences. So that's what guys can expect from this 7 day coaching. And also, I don't have any anxiety right now.
great.
Uh, I don't want to sit at home and scroll through my Instagram or YouTube anymore. Uh, I am going outside every evening and looking for an opportunity to strike up conversations with different people. Whereas just 2 weeks back or before this coaching, this was not my mindset at all.
Mm,
I was 24/7. Of course, I used to go to office, but after my office hours, I used to always be at home. Now I don't feel like staying at home at all. I want to go outside. I want to meet people. I want to, talk to that girl, approach her. And I know, and you know what? I am looking for opportunities to, sync up the timings of my gym crush, so that I can immediately speak to her the next
mm.
time I see her. So earlier, it was not like this. I used to find excuses to not go outside. Now I'm finding excuses to go outside. You become more social. There's no anxiety at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I can, I can say guys can expect from this coaching. And
That's amazing. That really is
I,
amazing.
yeah, and also to add a further point to this, I had some consultation calls with other dating coaches as well. They recommended only 3 to 4 days, but I feel you definitely need somewhere between 6 to 7 days to correct all the bad habits that we have accumulated over the years.
Mm,
It's not only about learning new things; it's about getting rid of all the things that all the negative stuff that we have learned
yeah.
over the
All those bad habits. Absolutely.
yes, yes, yeah.
No, that's amazing. I mean, I'm so pleased for you. I'm really glad that you got a lot out of it, and it's clearly shifted what you're doing, especially on your own. Which I suppose before we do wrap up, because we've kind of got about like 5 minutes left. Um, as it's been a couple of weeks now since we have done the coaching, um, are you still going out and approaching and doing it on your own? And what's the experience been like?
Uh, yes. So what I'm doing is initial few in the last 2 3 days, I just went outside but not approached anyone because this is the first time I'm going outside and looking at people uh, in the lens of who is that girl I can approach, or who what type of person I can approach in my city. So I
Mm,
was just scouting for different areas where what kind of people come in different areas, because we have a big castle here. Mostly there are tourists with girls with parents. There's a large, huge park on the other side of the city. There are a lot of university students. So I was doing this, but then I went outside on Friday and Saturday. Friday, I did one approach. I just wanted to, test the waters whether I
Yep.
can do it or not.
Yep. Yep.
Before leaving the house, I had made up my mind. I will just do one approach, whether it's rejection or a positive outcome or a negative outcome. I don't care. If it's a negative outcome, that's it. If it's a positive outcome, that's it. Just one approach to just test the waters.
Mm.
And I did approach, but the girl, although she smiled at my compliment, she did not stop. So I just let it be. Then I went out on Saturday. I approached a few girls, I would say two or three. I spoke with many other people who were in groups, who were students, not literally in the sense of approaching, romantically, just as a friendly chat. But then I was returning home, and then there I saw a beautiful Scottish girl. She was sketching something in her notepad, and I thought, okay, I should do this one last approach before I head home. And I went and just spoke to her, and I literally had like 10 minutes conversation. She was
Wow.
asking me about she was asking about me a lot of questions. I was asking about her, and at the end I told her I want to see her again. Can I get her number? And she was so happy to give her number. She in fact remembered my name uh, after even after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was a really good experience. I took her number. I i have texted her like 30 minutes ago, and I'm waiting for her reply now.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I mean, it just shows that you can do it on your own, and everything that you were worried about that you wouldn't be able to do before we worked together, you're
Yes.
now able to do it without anyone watching over you, anyone having to push you into doing an approach. And you've also, by the sounds of it, you've kind of taken the coaching and the feedback on board of like how to adjust your levels of like, right, how can I manage having a conversation? What stage am I at? Do I need to just sort of step it down if I'm not ready to have a conversation? Maybe just give a compliment, and then sort of step up. And here you are. You're now getting phone numbers from girls, and it might still feel like early days, and maybe it is, but I do believe if you can carry on doing this, going out somewhat regularly and just practice speaking to people, even if it isn't in with the intention of like dating, even just to practice speaking to people, just think like where you'll be, in months' time or in a year's time. I think you'll be in a really, really good place, and and hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be telling me how you've got yourself a new girlfriend, and you met her through literally finding that courage to speak to someone on the street. So very
Of
well
course,
done.
I have challenged myself to find a girlfriend by the end of this year.
Mm.
But if I keep doing what I'm doing, and if I keep implementing all the lessons that I've learned over the 7 day course, I'm sure I'll be in a very good place in the next 3 to 4 months.
Right, we're now back again. I thought I was going to squeeze us into 40 minutes, and we've just gone slightly over. So, of course, Zoom did automatically stop. So, we're just going to do this final wrap. I think that's absolutely fantastic that you got her details, and fingers crossed, hopefully, yeah, if you carry on doing what you're doing, whether it be a couple of months down the line or maybe even like over the course of a year, I have no doubt that if you're going out practicing regularly and you're meeting people, whether it be with dating intentions or just practicing to be sociable, I have no doubt or concerns that one day you will definitely find yourself back in a relationship again, which you should feel incredibly proud of yourself for doing, to just get past that first step or that first hurdle to just take action. And now you're putting yourself out there and you're doing it on your own as well, which really was the whole purpose of the coaching, was to just give you all of the things that you needed so you can do it on your own. I think you should definitely be really, really proud of yourself, because I know I am. I'm so over the moon that you found that courage to just do all the approaching that you did with me, because you did approach still round about like 100 women, and for you to then be able to continue that on your own. Yeah, I really, really do hope like that you stick with it, you carry on, and and I look forward to at some point you calling me up saying like, right, Daniel, I've found the one. We're gonna get married this time round. It's gonna be all okay. I'm genuinely looking forward to hearing how things develop and evolve for you over time too. And what I'll definitely do is I will connect you with a couple of other guys that I've worked with. I've spoken to them. They would love to be able to connect with you. So I really hope that then there's something there. And for anyone else watching, what I like to do with anyone who has worked with me, I've kind of got my own little group of guys who, if they are either in the same city or if they're looking for like to make new friends or even someone to go out and practice with, if they have the opportunity to, if they're either in the same city or elsewhere, I really, really love to be able to kind of connect people and network people. So I'm pretty certain, like if you connect with them, there's always no pressure to become like best friends with each other, but I think even with just having some support with other people who are on that same path as you, I think, yeah, as well, I think you'll do really well and you'll learn to just enjoy this even more. And I really hope, like, you've enjoyed everything that we've kind of done so far together as well.
Yeah, and also to add to this, I think all of the guys who are single should go out and approach, because there's a lot of online distractions nowadays. There's a lot of Instagram reels, and there's a lot of nudity on the internet. That's not how life should be supposed to be. I think we need to all single guys should go outside and approach and talk to women. That will definitely change our lives.
Mm. And I think you're a great example of it. I mean, even besides with what you've been doing with like the cold approaching, I mean, you've been working on like your health, your fitness, removing distractions of anything online for you as well. And I think even that, you are someone who's a prime example of how if you can like work on everything all together and really take a holistic approach to it, then you really, really can create such a happy life for you. And again, I've got no doubt that if you carry on pursuing the route that you're doing, you will end up in a really, really great place and you'll be just really happy by finding someone that's the right person for you as well.
Yes, of course. Because this is just day one or day two, and I've already got a number of a beautiful Scottish girl.
Mm.
I'm just imagining the day 40 or day 60, or even after like 2 or 3 months down the line. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing. I'm sure there'll be many stories that you'll be able to share with me. And also if you ever do find yourself back in London, let me know and we'll sit and have a catch up anyway. If there's one thing that I do like is like everyone that I've kind of worked with also kind of becomes friends as well. So, you never always know that you'll never be a stranger. If you're in London and I'm in London as well, we can always sort of like sit and have a catch up and go for a coffee or something. Because I'd love to, again, hear how things develop and evolve for you over time. And again, by the sounds of it, maybe this Scottish girl might be the one. Like fingers crossed for you. Like you never really know with people, but it's just so good that you are putting yourself into situations and taking opportunities when they come up, and you're certainly just not living a life full of regrets, which I know was something that I think you did actually say to me at one point, that you felt that you'd been missing opportunities, and now was the time to say, no, I don't want to miss any more. I want to take them when they come, or at least sort of try and find that courage to do so. And I think that's a really, really admirable thing. And, and I hope other guys watching this, you can take my client's story on board. I mean, he's certainly got quite the unique story there. And just know as well, like wherever you are in your life, you can work on these things. So if I'm right in thinking you're 31, correct?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
31.
so 31. So, my client's at a great age. He's not too old. He's certainly not too young. He's in a perfect window. And even then at the start, he felt like it was too late for him. And this belief totally got completely dissolved through just him doing these approaches and seeing what was possible, and how not so scary speaking to people actually is. And and for guys who are as well thinking about maybe doing my 7-day coaching, this is the purpose of it, to just completely show you that speaking to people really isn't as bad as you think. It's not as scary as you think. And I'm sure my client can probably even agree here and say that actually speaking to strangers really, really isn't that bad. Or at least I would assume so. If you want to kind of like agree or disagree with me there.
Yes, I agree. Speaking to strangers is not a big task. Speaking to ourselves and coming to terms with whatever life conditions are, that is tough.
Mm,
Speaking to ourselves is tough. Speaking to strangers is not at all tough.
mm. And
Yeah.
like I say, no, I think that's great. I mean, it couldn't be said any better, really. And again, I'm really, really proud of you for everything that you've done. And and I certainly wish you like all the best of luck with the future successes. And by all means, I'd love to hear any stories, especially if there's any like mind blowing ones that happened to you, where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. I went on a date with a girl like literally minutes after meeting her, or maybe something more crazy. Definitely, I'd love to hear it. But we'll end it there. And guys, if you're interested in having the same experience as my client, doing the 7-day coaching, which includes the filming and feedback service that I offer for days 1 and 2. And then the rest of the 5 days is going out and having one-to-one full on cold approach coaching, where I'll just get you to become hopefully pretty desensitized to speaking to really attractive women. And anytime there's those limiting beliefs that come up, or there's those self-doubts or worries, or you're frozen to the spot, which definitely my client did have. There were a couple of moments where he was like standing there and he's like, no, Daniel, I'm not going to move. I can't do it. No, Daniel, come back. Because I'm now thinking of the girl by the bus stop in Chelsea, that you were like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. But there'll always be these like moments that will happen. And, and I really hope that you guys give me the opportunity to maybe help you out with them too. So if you're interested in perhaps maybe having coaching, or even just taking that first step and you just want to have a conversation, I really do kind of believe that even that will help give you that nudge in the right direction. And again, hopefully my client here can kind of like agree with me on that. Like I assume like the even just the phone call that we had gave you at least an idea of like what steps next to take, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys even just want to have a chat, I'd love to hear from you. And again, thank you so much to my client, taking the time out of his day to just chat about the coaching that we did together. And again, I'll reference that he did approach about 100 women over the week, which I don't think he probably believed he was going to do before he did the coaching. And yet he managed, he survived, he's still here breathing, obviously, and he's able to talk and stuff as well. And I'd love to hear from you guys as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much as well for doing the interview with me. And guys, look forward to definitely more content from me. And I hopefully also look forward to hearing from you, to taking the same action steps as my client has too.